I'm Chris Hansen, right now on Crime Watch Daily from here in New York City. A mother and father at war over their missing daughter.
Justin! Guilty, you wouldn't run!
What really happened to little Ayla?
We thought foul play was involved, likely from the very start.
In a Crime Watch Daily exclusive, the father, living under a cloud of suspicion, gives his first and only interview.
You said that you believe was kidnapped. Do you think it was from someone that you know?
His theory about that day and why he's finally ready to talk.
Did you tell police, and what was their reaction?
Then she was 16 years old. She was only 14.
I was unconscious and they raped me.
Attacked, embarrassed, then exploited on social media.
The photo showed me laying down in a certain stance with my bottoms off.
Today, how these two brave sexual assault survivors are now joining forces to take back the power.
I became stronger than I've ever been.
Right now.
Go, let's go.
Jason Matera with Crime Watch Daily.
I'm Michelle Sagona from Crime Watch Daily.
This
Elizabeth Smart from Crime Watch Daily. It's Anna Garcia from Crime Watch Daily. You got anything to say?
is Crime Watch Daily.
What do you mean you don't know she's 13? You're running away now?
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Hansen. We start with developments in a case that made national headlines. Today, the father of Ayla Reynolds, a missing 20-month-old girl, is finally breaking his silence about what he says happened the day she vanished and what he thinks really happened to her. Melissa McCarty has the Crime Watch Daily exclusive.
What happened to the little girl with the big blue eyes?
We thought foul play was involved, likely from the very start.
Ayla Reynolds' mom has been searching for answers for years.
Tell me what happened to my daughter!
Now in a Crime Watch Daily exclusive, the girl's father breaks his silence.
Are you open to doing a sit-down? Because I know that.
This afternoon we can.
Explosive allegations as Justin DiPietro talks publicly for the first time about the night his daughter disappeared.
Were there signs in your house indicating that someone was in there?
9 days before Christmas, 20-month-old Ayla Reynolds vanishes during the night from her father's home in Waterville, Maine. Ayla's mother tells our Michelle Sagona it's a day that haunts her.
How did you find out your daughter was missing?
I got on the phone, and it was my dad, and he was in tears, and I said, Dad, what's going on? What's wrong? The police are here, and Ayla's missing. Nobody knows where she is.
According to state police, Justin DiPietro put his daughter to bed around 8 o'clock. When he went to check on her the next morning, she was gone.
Obviously, when a toddler wanders off, we obviously start searching, starting from the place where she was last seen, and in this place, it was their home. And that search got wider and wider.
Police searched all of Waterville, but Ayla is never found. Then the focus of the investigation shifts when cops find Ayla's blood inside her father's home.
It was found on her slippers, a baby doll, in her car seat.
Justin, his sister Alicia, and then girlfriend Courtney were all in the house that fateful night. All three say the toddler must have been abducted.
Did investigators show you evidence from what they had from what was found inside the house?
We have seen pictures of what they found in the
have?
house, yes.
2 years ago, we asked Ayla's aunt Alicia about the blood evidence.
What would explain the blood?
She'd been vomiting quite a lot. She had lactose issues.
Okay.
So she had been sick.
Nothing happened in the house that night?
Nothing happened.
No foul play?
No foul play in the house that night.
But police aren't buying it and tell Trista what they believe happened to her only daughter that night.
They actually think that it ended with them rolling her up in a blanket and sticking her in a tote.
Do you think that it was an accident, or what do you think happened?
I just think things got really out of hand, and he didn't know how to handle it the way that he should.
Little Ayla was a surprise pregnancy for Trista and her then boyfriend Justin. The two split before she was born. Trista kept her the majority of the time, and she claims Ayla often had mysterious injuries after her visits with her dad.
She had bruises like going up her leg, and You know, I said, what's this, Justin? And he was like, oh, she was playing at Chuck E. Cheese in a ball pit and some little kid was kicking her. Problem was, there was no ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
Just 2 days before she went missing, Ayla's arm was broken in what Justin calls an accident. At the time, Justin had been caring for Ayla while Trista dealt with personal issues. When she called to check on her daughter,
he said, well, she's watching Home Alone right now. And I said, really? And you're not gonna let me talk to her? And he never did. And then that was it.
for months after their child's disappearance, Trista says she tried getting Justin to talk. Then one day, she's tipped off about a court date he has for an alleged domestic battery incident.
Tell me what happened to my daughter!
The heartbroken mother's frustration erupts outside a Maine courthouse.
Justin, just look me in the eye so I can see her! Justin, look at me.
Ask him.
You do want to look at me. Do you remember this? Justin! What are you doing? You're guilty. You wouldn't try!
So just wanting my answers, that's all I've ever wanted.
After 6 long years, Trista believes she may finally be close to getting some answers. Even though Ayla's body has never been found, a judge in Cumberland County, Maine has declared her legally dead.
When I heard the judge's final decision, I kind of lost it. I was expecting him to say yes to what we were trying, but a part of me also thought that maybe he wasn't going to declare Ayla dead. It kind of like really hit hard, and it made it all real for me.
As difficult as it was to hear, the legal declaration is something Trista asked for.
We decided to pursue it so we could go after Justin and his family civilly.
She's now planning to file a wrongful death lawsuit against Ayla's father, which would force him, under oath, to answer questions about the night their daughter vanished. But Justin is ready to talk now. Up next.
You said that you believe was kidnapped. Do you think it was from someone that you know?
Shocking revelations about the night Ayla went missing.
Can I ask, do you think she's with her mom?
From the moment Ayla Reynolds went missing, her story touched a nerve all over the country. Suspicions swirled about what happened. The finger pointing between her mother and father eventually would turn nasty inside and outside of court. And today, in an exclusive new interview, that father is talking for the first time about the case to our Melissa McCarty.
6 years after little Ayla Reynolds vanished from her father's home in Waterville, Maine, her mother will not give up the search.
I'll never stop looking for Ayla.
Cops have never named a suspect in the case, but have always suspected foul play.
We have said from the very beginning that the 3 adults inside that home know more than they've told us.
One of those 3 adults in that tiny little house is Ayla's father, Justin DePietro. He recently moved from Maine to Los Angeles, and that's where I tracked him down.
Justin, hi. I'm Melissa with Crime Watch Daily. Here to talk to you about Ayla, if you have a few minutes.
In a Crime Watch Daily exclusive, Justin finally breaks his silence about the night his daughter disappeared. Although her body has never been found, a judge recently declared Ayla legally dead.
And I was just wondering how you were coping with that.
Not very good.
Justin has always maintained that someone broke into his house during the night and kidnapped his 20-month-old daughter.
Do you think it was from someone that you know or a stranger?
Yeah, someone that, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think
we meet at another time? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Justin seemed genuinely interested in telling his story, actually agreeing to meet later that night after he got off work.
What's your schedule like?
I have all day open.
He wanted to do it along this river walk by his house. He came and then he ended up leaving. He said he was uncomfortable, so he took off.
Next day, we attempted again, but as we set up for the interview at a nearby hotel, Justin backed out a second time. He then agreed to talk only by phone.
When I met you that morning, you said that maybe someone you know had something to do with it. Who do you think would have taken her?
It's always been the same person that I thought it was from the beginning.
Who do you think it is? Is it her mom, a relative?
I think it's someone close to her.
Were there signs in your house indicating that someone was in there?
Yeah, there's 2 things that were suspicious, of course.
What were those two things in her room?
I can't get into exact details with you guys, but
It was enough for you to think that this was planned and someone broke in and took her that night?
absolutely.
Did you tell police, and what was their reaction? Are they looking into that?
I haven't gotten a lot of answers on a lot of things.
From the beginning, Maine State Police have been very clear that they did not find any evidence of a break-in. They believe if an intruder had gotten into the house, it's so small that someone inside would have heard or seen something.
We don't think she was abducted. We don't think she wandered off. And we think foul play's involved.
What do you say when that other side points the finger at you?
I don't think it ever feels good for anybody to be accused of something they didn't do. I've never done anything wrong to anybody to, do any of this, and I know for sure my daughter hasn't either.
But then Justin drops another accusation, saying Trista herself was in Waterville the day Ayla went missing. He finds that suspicious, saying she'd only visited once during the 2 months he had custody of their daughter.
I thought it was kind of weird that Trista passed through Waterville, which is my town, that same morning, but nothing was ever mentioned about that.
In an earlier interview with our Michelle Sagona, Trista did mention being in the area.
We were driving to Machiasport, and we were passing the Waterville exit, and I was thinking in my head, maybe on my way back I can stop and see her.
But she says they didn't even exit the highway. About 2 hours later, she got the call that Ayla was missing.
Can I ask, do you think she's with her mom?
I'm not sure.
The last time Justin and Trista saw one another, all hell broke loose.
Justin, just look me in the eye so I can see her. Justin, look at me. Ask him. You do want to look at me. Do you remember this, Justin? What are you doing? You're guilty. You wouldn't run.
They had to shut the courthouse down. They had death threats against me that day, apparently.
Justin's mom even joined in the melee.
I am Ayla's grandmother, and I believe she's alive.
And I am her mother.
Yes, do you believe that she's
understand?
alive, and tell us what you did with her?
She showed up for the court date with a whole army of 100 people, and then they surrounded me. So, of course, I'm going to remove myself from the situation.
The two will likely face off in court again soon. Neither parent has ever been named a suspect or person of interest in their daughter's disappearance. But Trista is planning to file a civil lawsuit against Justin now that Ayla has been declared legally dead.
Yeah, it's not something that I pushed for. That was something that Trista wanted.
Justin says he isn't planning his daughter's funeral.
Yeah, I still believe she's alive, yeah.
He's planning to find her.
Obviously, you want answers. You want clues and information, however they may come, right?
Of course I do.
Is there anything you would say to her if she was watching, if you think she's out there somewhere?
Yeah, I love you, and I'll see you soon.
After 6 years, Trista says she's more determined than ever to uncover the truth.
I'm not gonna stop knocking at Justin's door. We're not gonna just step back in the background. We're gonna keep going however we have to make sure that we get what we need for Ayla. She needs to have justice. Ayla needs to be put to rest the proper way.
Coming up, teens attacking other teens.
I was unconscious and they raped me.
It's a problem many young people are facing. Now these brave survivors are on a mission to make a change.
What I mean by ending rape culture is to stop blaming the survivor about what they were wearing, what they were drinking, why were they there.
Next. We're back now with more Crime Watch Daily, and our next story should disturb and anger you. And it should also make you talk to your kids about the very real situation in America about teen sexual assault. It's a real problem, and it's not something to joke about. Today, our Ana Garcia has the story of two very brave young women who are sharing their painful stories, hoping it helps others escape the same fate.
She was only 14. When she says two teenaged boys turned into monsters.
I was unconscious and they raped me.
Assaulted and abused.
He was on top of me and he was hitting me.
And she says the torment continued after the terror ended.
I was having nightmares every night. Am I gonna live this forever?
Now Ella Farron is bravely shedding light on a dark secret. High school's rape culture.
I grew up in a small town called Newport Beach, a little conservative town, I guess. And life was amazing. I had everything going for me. My family life was awesome. I had so many friends. But then I moved.
Ella was 14 when her family left Southern California and moved to a small town in Texas.
I went to my first day of school and saw that there was nearly 1,000 kids per class. I didn't really know who I was anymore, and I started to kind of reconstruct myself to fit in. So I tried to basically change into this harder person that I saw that people were.
Blue eyeshadow, black fingernails, and a new friend who she says took her to the dark side.
She introduced me to hard drugs. We started developing just really unhealthy behaviors, like hitting each other, just drinking excessively, doing a lot of pills, and just cutting each other.
Ella says one night she and her friend had a party with their boyfriends, two guys she thought she could trust.
We were just sitting, hanging out. I was sitting on his lap, she was sitting on his lap, and they kept insisting that we took shots and stuff, and I couldn't handle my liquor very well. And then all of a sudden, her boyfriend picked her up and carried her into the other room.
Ella says now she and her boyfriend were alone and she got nervous.
He was starting to kind of grab me and touch me.
Ella says she decided to leave, and then
I feel them walking behind me. And the other guy grabs my arm and spins me around and hits me in the face. Knocked me to the ground, fully. And I tried to lift my chest and myself off the ground, and he hit me again, flat on the ground. And at this point, I felt my limbs start to go numb, and I felt blood start to trickle down my throat. I just lost all consciousness. And I was unconscious for however many hours, and they raped me.
Ella says when she woke up and realized what happened, she felt vulnerable.
I pulled myself up on the counter, and I saw myself in the mirror, and this image has haunted me forever. And in that moment, I knew that I was so alone. I had no one, and I didn't know who to call.
Ella says her friend told her to keep her mouth shut about the incident.
I was okay, I won't. And then I knew I was really, really alone, because the only person that somewhat knew what had happened never wanted to talk about it again.
But Ella says her alleged perpetrators told the other guys at school, and now everyone seemed to know.
All these guys knew about it and would come up to me in the hallways and literally pull me up around a corner, and they would literally touch me in the hallways of school. I would hide in the bathroom for hours. I couldn't even go to class some days.
Ella tried to fight back with strongly worded texts like, "Don't come up to me at school, and tell your friends they touch me one more time, they're gonna get it."
There was still this Ella who was so hurt and so scared and so alone.
Ella's parents took her out of school and moved back to California for her own safety. She decided not to press charges against the boys.
I was I'm not gonna go through 3 years in court or whatever, however long it takes. That's my decision.
Many young victims face the same fears. Our Elizabeth Smart recently interviewed Daisy Coleman. Like Ella, she claims she was sexually assaulted by another student after a night of drinking.
And then what is your next memory after that?
After that, the next thing I remember is waking up, being drugged into my house.
A special prosecutor said there was insufficient evidence to charge Daisy's perpetrator with felony sexual assault. He ultimately pleaded guilty to misdemeanor child endangerment for dumping Daisy in her yard in sub-freezing temperatures.
What would be your message to other survivors?
I would have to tell them that they're not alone and that whatever they're going through is not their fault and they shouldn't blame themselves.
And that's Jada Smith's sentiment exactly. She says she was sexually assaulted at a party when she was only 16.
When I got home, I went to the restroom and I realized that my underwear was on backwards, so I started freaking out.
A couple of days later, Jada says one of the guys at the party posted graphic pictures of her on Twitter. They called it the Jada pose.
The photo showed me laying down in a certain stance with my bottoms off and throw up in my mouth, and I was passed out. I realized that I was assaulted when I saw the picture.
And to add insult to injury, many heartless people mocked Jada on social media, consciously posing like when she was unconscious after her assault.
When I saw the hashtag Jada pose, I was just angry.
Jada went to the Houston cops. They dropped the charges against the minor who took the picture, but the other guy, the 19-year-old, was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to prison for 3 years. But in all three women's darkest moments, they found light in their own inner strength and decided to dedicate their lives to help others who, like them, had nowhere to turn.
I don't think that people understand that the things they say online still have the power to make or break someone.
They founded Safe Bay along with Daisy's brother Charlie. Safe Bay stands for Before Anyone Else. It's a support group teaching students that violence and sexual assault are not acceptable.
My hope for the future of Safe Bay is that we can get in front of as many kids as we can and use our youth almost as far as we can, because, you know, kids don't want to listen to like 40-year-old men and women. They're teachers.
Now these three courageous survivors are working tirelessly to change the culture of rape in schools and hopefully save lives.
What I mean by ending rape culture is to stop blaming the survivor about what they were wearing, what they were drinking, why were they there, and just to believe and support them.
For more information on how you can start a Safe Bay squad for your school, go to crimewatchdaily.com, and right now on our Facebook page, Elizabeth Smart talks with the organization co-founder Daisy Coleman about her assault and how that almost made her take her own life. That's on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Still to come, a high school cheerleader falls in love and has a baby. Behind the smiles,
she wasn't the same person.
And when Samantha Folsom falls off the grid, her parents would make a horrible discovery.
She opened the closet door. That's where our life changed.
Next. Now to a mystery in Maine. Something just seemed off in the apartment of Samantha Folsom. The TV was on full blast. The windows were open in the bitter cold. Then her parents opened a downstairs closet door, and their world would suddenly be changed forever. Jolene Turner doesn't get a lot of sleep these days, haunted by what she sees when she closes her eyes.
Every night when I go to bed, it plays over and over again like a movie. So I'll stay up at 3 days at a time just to avoid it.
A daughter lost.
She just wasn't there.
And what the mother found.
Jolene said it felt like someone had punched her in the gut.
What really took place the night Samantha Folsom suddenly disappeared, and why the horror that happened after.
It split her parents apart.
I didn't want to leave her.
It's like a carnival ride that never stops. All I want it to stop.
Remember the beginning. It was her first picture taken of her as a baby.
From the day their daughter was born, Samantha Turner's parents were the very epitome of proud.
She was a really good daughter. She loved to go out with us, even though we were old to her. And it was like being with a friend versus, you gotta come out with us. We're your parents, we say so. We had some really good times.
Yeah, we did.
But it wasn't just that she was fun to be around. John and Jolene say it was also the choices their daughter made, the kind that build character.
She was a wonderful child. Never in any type of trouble whatsoever. She was also a protector of sort of the underdog.
Both a champion and a cheerleader, Samantha's parents say she could have been anything, but that sometime after high school, their daughter got off track. And they say it started around the time she met a man named Jesse Folsom, a man Samantha's mom had a hard time welcoming into their lives.
It's just what you call a mother's instinct. I knew that he was not right for her.
And she says mother's instinct became intuition confirmed when she started noticing dark bruises on her daughter's arms.
I asked her one day, why are you wearing long sleeves in the middle of summer? And I lifted up her shirt and found the marks.
She suspected the marks were coming from Jesse, and Jolene says when she confronted them both about the alleged abuse, neither denied it. But Sam's family also says that after a lot of work and time, things actually seem to improve.
I did the best I could with Jesse. I worked 3-4 nights a week getting him his GED.
And then John helped Jesse start a career in the Army.
And they were going to start a new life. And I had his word at the time that he was going to protect her.
And with that promise in place, Jesse and Samantha decided to make a few more, like To Have and to Hold and Till Death Do Us Part.
They got married and moved to California. Her husband was stationed in the Army.
But after that, Samantha's parents say it was more than just her last name that changed.
When they came back to visit, or, you could see there was a difference. She wasn't the same person. She was tired and she was introverted.
Samantha's mom suspected drugs, and once again her instincts were dead on. Samantha eventually confesses that she developed an addiction in California, and that even though she tried to shake it, she just couldn't.
She didn't want to tell me because she didn't want to disappoint us.
Then during another visit home, a revelation that would force Samantha to fight her demons harder than ever. Samantha is suddenly hit by a severe pain in her side. Her mom fears appendicitis and rushes her to the emergency room where doctors do an ultrasound of her abdomen.
When they did the ultrasound, she found out she was pregnant.
It was a surprise, but a happy one. And several months later, she gave birth to a perfectly healthy baby boy. Her parents say she was determined to keep it that way. After years of alleged dysfunction, Sam and Jesse split up. She moved back to Maine, got her own apartment close to her parents' place, and decided to make one more very big change.
She wanted to go to rehab. She decided she wanted to change for her son. And that was the turning point in her life.
Her son was staying with another family member when she told her parents she was ready to get help.
She was going to come to our house, and we were going to take her to the rehab the next morning. Well, the next day, when she just wasn't there. 6 o'clock came, 7 o'clock, nothing.
The Turners made several calls to their daughter, each one more frantic than the last, but all went unanswered. And when they knocked on her apartment door, that went unanswered too.
I went to the housing place and I asked them to let me in because I wanted to do a welfare check. And they said, no, you're not on the lease.
After that, Samantha's parents filed a missing persons report. But they say there was little done. And for the next 3 days, they went back and forth between police and Samantha's apartment manager trying to get someone to listen.
Finally, I went to the housing place again and I said, look, she got a cat in there that hasn't ate in days. So they worked with me. They sent a maintenance man out and he opened it up.
Right away, they say everything felt wrong.
It was November. All the fans were on, windows were open, television was full blast.
When I first walked in, my focus was more or less finding the cat, and I knew the cat carrier was in the closet.
I went outside because it was, it was kind of musty. And she yells, John, quick, come here. And she opened the closet door, and that's where our life changed.
Coming up.
After that, the whole thing went to hell. Just the bottom dropped off.
A life-altering discovery. What the parents found in that closet.
It threw me back 6 feet against the wall.
A young mother has been missing for 3 days. In a panic, her parents go to her apartment complex and convince the maintenance man to let them in. What they found next still haunts them to this very day. November in the state of Maine can be bitterly cold, which is why John and Jolene Turner had such a sinking feeling when they walked into their daughter's apartment one chilly autumn day and found all the windows wide open.
And there was a fan that she had that was blowing air out of the apartment in the middle of November.
At that point, it had been 3 days since Samantha Folsom's parents reported her missing. They had gained access to her apartment to retrieve her cat.
And so I opened the closet door where the cat carrier was, and there she was.
There she was. I'm sorry.
It was their 26-year-old daughter, Samantha Folsom, murdered and stuffed into the closet.
When I saw it, it was like almost, I felt like her soul had gone through me, and it threw me back 6 feet against the wall. Thank God for one thing, that her head was down and I didn't see her face. But still, the memory of that haunts me.
State police immediately take over the investigation, and though Samantha's exact cause of death is not immediately revealed, there's no secret who may have wanted her dead: her estranged husband and the father of her child, Jesse Folsom. According to Samantha's mom, Jesse had abused her daughter in the past, and her death came not long after the couple split up. Also, it was reported that Sam had already found a new boyfriend, all reasons Jesse might have been enraged. But there was one little problem with that lead.
Jesse was in jail.
Former newspaper reporter Scott Dolan explains.
He was in jail for assaulting Sam's boyfriend, who she had after they split up.
But maybe Jesse wasn't the only one with a motive. What about that new boyfriend? Apparently, Sam had recently broken it off with him as well. And according to her mom, it's because he too was abusive. The problem is, that was also his alibi.
The boyfriend was in jail for assaulting her. Jesse was in jail for assault of the boyfriend.
It just was crazy.
Two seemingly prime persons of interest, cleared by other crimes, and after that, it appeared there weren't many other places to look.
People were baffled. Sam had her problems. She had an addiction, but everyone described her as like a happy, joyous person. She had friends, and she was focused on taking care of her son. She was trying to get clean and stay clean.
In fact, investigators appeared to have so little to go on, they didn't even classify Samantha's death as a murder.
Initially, after Sam's death, they said it was undetermined. It was a year later that the state police issued a statement saying that it had been declared a homicide. I talked to the spokesman for the state police, and he said that it had been a homicide all along. They just didn't announce it. To me, that means that they had a lead and that they couldn't get to the end of that lead. So then at that point, they were hopeful that something else would push the case a little bit closer.
And Scott says that's where he came in.
I was working at the Portland Press-Herald as a reporter, and I looked back to see what reporting had been done on her death, and there was very little writing. So I decided to go investigate, interview a lot of people, and find any leads I could find.
First, he talked to police, but they could only say so much.
The head detective at the time, he told me that they had leads, and they were closing in, and but it was still an open investigation.
That's when Scott talked to Samantha's neighbors, and that's where he says he learned a lot more about the investigation.
I think the most important interview I did of a neighbor. She lived right next door to Sam, and she's the one who told me. Detectives came to her door, and they showed her that picture of this person, and they asked her if they recognized this person.
Scott says the picture was of a man with a dark complexion who was wearing a shirt and tie and some sort of badge.
And that was the only person they asked her about.
Andy says the neighbor also told police about a conversation she had with Samantha not long before she was killed.
They said that someone had come to Sam's door either the day before or day of, knocking and calling for her. said that Sam was terrified of whoever was knocking on her door.
Was that person the same man in the picture being circulated by police? And why would he come knocking in the first place?
From what I gathered, Sam was in the drug world. She was trying to get clear of it. I think it was probably someone from her past or some acquaintance who was drawing her back in.
We reached out to Maine State Police for a comment, and while they declined to give any official statements on camera, they were present during our investigation and confirmed that even after 6 years, this case is still very much open and active.
If people have information or knowledge, they still should contact the Maine State Police. They're the lead investigators. If there's any closure to be brought to this homicide investigation, they're the ones who are going to bring it.
What defines closure at this point is hard to say, but in the years since their daughter's death, life for John and Jolene no longer resembles what it once was.
After that, the whole thing went to hell. Just the bottom dropped off.
And our last Christmas.
Our family life, the dynamics is completely screwed up. Jolene and I have been married for 35 years, and now we've been divorced for 2.
It split her parents apart. They were a close-knit family, they were a strong family, but the grief, it was too much. It was too much, and I think it haunts Jolene and John.
The nighttime is the worst because I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder from finding her in the condition she was in. At her funeral, I was her pallbearer, and I was the one who pushed her coffin into the storage room because I didn't want to leave her. It was all we had left.
And yet, as hard as it's been through all the pain and uncertainty, there are a few things Jolene says she knows for sure. Simple truths that help ease the nightmares.
At the end of it all, I know 2 places where she is. Down the road at St. Peter's Cemetery and in heaven.
Now to a Crime Watch Daily update on a military mom with top secret clearance gunned down in her home. Her body found right next to her unharmed daughter. Today, our Michelle Sagona has all new details on the 2 people now behind bars for the crime. A stunning new development in the murder of Army Private First Class Carlin Ramirez.
She was a beautiful soul.
The 24-year-old mom of a 4-month-old baby executed in her Maryland home.
She didn't deserve what happened to her. And I miss my girl.
Thankfully, her daughter was spared. When Crime Watch Daily first brought you the story, cops were baffled. The devoted Army mom seemed to have no enemies. Who would want her dead? Now, a dramatic development. This woman, Dolores Delgado, has pleaded guilty to her role in the murder. Delgado is the girlfriend of Carlin's estranged husband, Army Sergeant Malik Kearney. Kearney has also been arrested and charged with Carlin's murder.
If he had anything to do with it, that's his cross to bear.
Court documents say the couple concocted an elaborate scheme to cover their tracks. Kearney allegedly drove 500 miles from his post at a base in South Carolina to Carlin's home in Maryland. Cops say he shot her 3 times, staged the crime scene to make it look like a sexual assault gone wrong, placed their daughter in the dead woman's arms, and drove back to South Carolina to be at work the next morning. Delgado allegedly established Kearney's alibi, staying at his home with his cell phone and his car. Police say she supplied the gun and large cans of gasoline so Kearney wouldn't have to fuel up along the way. For now, Delgado is awaiting sentencing. She could face life in prison. Kearney has yet to enter a plea.